Good morning, everyone. Leah Dixon here in Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. I am coming live on Wednesday morning. I try to do this every single Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And usually I pop on to share a card with you. Sometimes a technique, and usually, well, almost always something that's actually relevant to the season we're creating for. Today, though, I have something a little bit different. I'm going to be sharing with you the birthday card organizer, which is one of the new kits from Stampin Up. When I saw this kit, I was so excited because I am trying to get my craft room a lot more organized and trying to find ways to keep it that way. So this birthday card organizer I thought was fantastic, and I've received it now and am so excited to share it with you. It looks amazing. So I'm going to switch over to my desktop so you can see the kit itself, and we'll do some creating. All right, so first of all, the kit comes in this awesome box, which is going to be great for like packaging cards and stuff like that. And so it's got the Stampin' Up! On the top, which can easily have like a pretty label or something put over top of it. And then the sides are all the polka dots and stripes. And so it's this awesome craft box. And then everything you need comes inside. So I'll pull everything out and show you all what it is. So we have the actual card organizer book. And then we have all the stuff to make 12 cards, and our adhesive and our instructions are in here. So there we go. I've just emptied out the box so that it's going to be easier to move stuff around. So we do have some tear and tape that came with our kit. That's for putting together the cards, because you actually get the stuff to put together 12 cards in this kit. So you get the organizer book plus 6 of each of the cards. And I'm going to show you a few little things that I think we can do to jazz them up as well if you want to make them a little bit different. We also get our dimensionals and mini glue dots and some, I love these, they're the adhesive back iridescent sequins. These came in a kit a few years ago as well, with some like gold embellishments, and they're just one of my favorite embellishments. All right. You get all of the envelopes to go with your cards, and they have the beautiful insides all decorated. So we've got the plaid in soft succulent and the crumb cake or Sahara sand stripes. So I'm going to put those off to the side. We don't need those just yet. And then we have our card bases. So like I said, you get enough stuff here to make 6 of each card. So I'm just going to grab 1 of each card base. I love the fun polka dots. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to grab 1 of each card base, put the rest back into the box, and we will go from there. And then we have all these, like they're not stickers, but they're punch outs. So we've got those. So I'll keep 1 of those and put the rest into the box. We have all of the months to put onto our calendar. Now you will notice that this doesn't look like English because it's not. We actually get it in English, French, and then I'm not sure, I believe German, and another language, I'm not sure. So we get 4 languages, which is kind of cool. I'm going to keep our English ones and put the other ones aside. And then it's the same deal with our sentiments for our cards. We get our sentiments in all 4 languages as well. All right, so I'm going to keep a set of those and a set of those, and a set of these. There we go, and put those off to the side. So kind of kept all the bits that I need for creating my cards. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Eva. So this is our birthday card organizer, and I am super duper impressed with the quality of it, like how sturdy it is, and super excited to share with you a few ideas I have for personalizing it. So I'm not going to do all of the pages, but I'm going to get started and just show you for our January page kind of what I had in mind. So we have our January to put on here and decorate, but before I did that, I always kind of like to spruce up my pages a bit. Now, I don't want too many layers and dips and stuff for when I'm stamping, so I'm actually going to turn this so that I only have one pocketed page showing, and this is our first one, so this is going to be January. And before I stick down that month and kind of put this together and make it very plain, I actually thought it would be fun to bring in some stamps and do a little bit of decorating around the outside to make this, I don't know, a little bit more festive. So I'm going to grab the small snowflake from my Joyful Flowers. Now you could, of course, grab any snowflakes from any of your snowflake kits, like really doesn't matter. But I'm going to grab my ones from my Joyful Flurry, and I'm also going to grab these itty bitty, like the snowball snowflakes. All right. Now I want to keep in the kind of tones that are here in this kit. So I am going to use Soft Succulent to stamp my snowflakes. So it's not a super traditional snowflake color, but it's what I'm going to do. Now I just want to double check because I'm even worried that Soft Succulent might be a little bit darker than I want. It is. So I'm actually going to do my snowballs stamped off. So I'm going to stamp them off and then stamp them. So they're going to go on here really, really light. Okay, and we can stamp off the edge too. And twist this and turn this. And maybe a little bit more. All right, there we go. Now, if you're wanting to kind of go up above, my suggestion to you would be to actually take a piece of scrap paper and tuck it into the pocket. And this way I can really get up to the top and stamp off the top edge with my snowflakes. Oops, don't forget to stamp off. And come along like this. Oh, that might have been too low. Oh well, I'll be using black ink, so the names that I write will be able to go over top of those. No worries. All right, maybe try and keep these ones up a little bit higher. All right, now this is where it's going to get a bit tricky. I'm actually going to clean this and reposition it on my block so that it's really, really close to the one edge, because otherwise my block is going to start to interfere with me. And actually I'm going to switch to a paper pumpkin block because they have kind of thinner, straighter edges. There we go. So stamp that, and then I can really come in and stamp really close to that edge. All right, and then same thing here. So using the paper pumpkin block allows you that flexibility to get really close to your rings. There we go, and one more. Awesome. Oh, and I'll do one more over here. There we go. All right, so I've done kind of these really, really light snowflakes around the edge of my paper. And now I'm going to take my snowflake and I'm going to do it in full strength, Soft Succulent. Now this one I do have to be more careful. It'd be harder to write over top of this one if I put it down too close to where I would be putting my words. All right, now that one I know. And there we go. My date's going to, or my month rather, is going to get put in there. So it's going to take up most of that space anyways, but there. Maybe one kind of off the side. All right. Now we'll just see with my date. I might throw another snowflake in at the top just because I am really going to cover up that one. So our dates here are stickers. So I'm just peeling my January off. And looking at that, I am going to stamp one more snowflake right up here. And there we go. And then I'm going to put my January down. And I'm going to try and center it on the page. There we go. All right. So there's my January. And I might squeeze in one more snowflake over here. There we go. All right. So that is my January page decorated. And then I might even up in the polka dots at the top. I don't want to put anything that's going to kind of pop up and layer there because we're going to put our cards in. But I might even put some snowflakes up at the top because this snowflake I've chosen actually will fit nicely inside those dots. So I'm not going to do all of them, just the 3, and just make it kind of festive that way. Actually, you know what? I am going to do more. I'm going to do 5. All right, and there we go. So just like that, and we've got it all decorated. You know what? Now that I've got that many done, I lied. I'm going to do them all the whole ones at least. There we go. And let's see if I can sneak that one in. Probably not. No, can't do that one. So we'll skip it. That's okay. All right. So we've got that one all decorated, and now it really feels like a January page and kind of allowed us to make it a little bit different than, you know, we're not going to have the same polka dot page on every page. We're going to have really seasonal stuff happening. So I'll do a few more of those and show you a few other ideas I had for months. But first of all, I wanted to show you the cards that come in this kit as well, because to me, that's a really big bonus as well. I send out a lot of birthday cards each month, but I also sometimes will make a card early, be like, oh, this one would be perfect for my dad, and I'd want to pop it in. But I do have like just those, like I need to make 50 birthday cards this month. What am I going to do? So it's nice to have some quick ideas. So we have 2 here, and then I'll actually show you how you can recreate these cards even after you've used up all your bits. Okay, so where did my little instructions go? So the first card is this lovely one. And now, to be really honest, I'm actually going to butcher mine because it kind of bothers me that we have this really fun piece here that could be used on another card, just kind of going to waste as the backside of our card. So if you only want to make 12 cards with this kit, that's fine. Fold this in half and have at her. But I really want to be able to make more than that. So I'm actually going to trim this down at the 4-inch mark. And I'm going to save this piece to create an alternative card. There we go. I'm going to trim it down to 4 as well. And then before I forget, I'm just going to trim them both down to 5 1/4 as well. So they're going to layer nicely onto a card base. All right, now you can choose if that's a colored card base or a white card base, but I've got that piece now. And this one, let's see, I think I'll trim it a little bit on each side. I don't want to lose kind of the centering that we've got going on here. All right. So trimmed that down to 4 by 5 1/4. So it's going to layer nicely onto a card base. And now I'm really getting 2 for 1. I won't have the fancy envelope for the second card, but that's okay. And then I'm going to, for this one, I'm strictly going to grab a thick basic white card base. So I always keep these cut in 2 directions, my hot dog and my hamburger folds. And so I'm just going to grab one of those. And this I will layer right onto there. Okay, so that's going to go on like that. Oh, now the whites are different. Oh my, maybe I won't do that. Maybe I will put it onto a piece of crumb cake. Okay, so we're going to change up the plan just slightly, just because those whites don't match and that kind of bothers me. I'm going to go grab a card base to put this on that has some color. Perhaps I'll do soft succulent, actually. Soft succulent. There we go. So I actually already had a soft succulent card base cut. So we're going to use that, and we're going to put that on like there. So that matches up a lot better, the whites were a bit of an issue for me, at least. Maybe not for you. So before I glue this down, I'm going to grab a few of our other pieces because I'm going to have to trim them now that I cut this particular piece down. So we've got these awesome little faux stitched pieces of Sahara sand linen. And so now you can see it is longer than my background piece. So I'm going to have to trim that one down as well to 5 1/4. All right, so there we go. Got that trimmed down. Oh my goodness, come on. There we go. And so this piece gets attached straight to our card front. They've provided mini glue dots in the kit to do that. I like to save those mini glue dots for things I really need it for. So I am going to just grab some liquid glue and do that to adhere this. I like using those mini glue dots for adhering like itty bitty delicate things. And so I save them. All right. So with that done, this piece can actually get attached to our card front now. Let me just make sure that's straight. There we go. All right, so I'm going to glue this down to our card front. If you were doing the original design, you wouldn't have to do that because this would be your card front. And you can always use mini glue dots to do this if you don't happen to have any other adhesive. Okay. There we go. So we've got that attached. Now we're going to grab our floral bits from over here. And we're actually going to pop out more than just the one flower. So we've got the one flower, but then we've also got all these other little bits. And we're going to be able to put these on, like some of them popped up, some of them not, so that we really get some depth to this. We've got the leaves here and more leaves. There we go. So just like that. Now I am actually going to pop this one down first with dimensionals, and then I'm going to tuck the other ones in. So they gave us dimensionals in our kit, but I actually have a package of dimensionals already going. So I'm going to use them up before I use up my kit dimensionals. So I'm just doing 3 here. There we go. And I'm going to pop this down just like that. And then I'm actually going to put, you could do mini glue dots, or I'm just going to use liquid glue. And I'm going to put liquid glue on the back of this, and then, oh, yikes, I put my dimensional there. And so that's not actually going to work. So I am going to take my Take Your Pick tool and see if I can pick that up. Sometimes you can. There we go. I did it. All right. So I'm going to put my little dab of glue on here. Pop that under how I want it. And then push all that back down. There we go. All right. Let's see if this one's going to go, or if I put a dimensional in the way again. All right. Yep. That one I put a dimensional in the way of as well. Way to go. So I Take Your Pick tool there. So we've got that up and we haven't really put it down yet. So just a little dab of glue on the back. Pop that under and then push it all back down. And then finally, this cute little guy should be fine. Oh, yep, it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to put just a dab of glue on the back of this guy. Just on the flower part, actually. Oh, I'm almost out of glue. There we go. Little dab of glue on there. And tuck that flower in. And push it down. So that way I have this top rose all kind of popped up. And then these little bits are there in my background. All right. Now we have a sentiment to add to this. And this is a no stamp kit. Well, obviously I added stamps to it, but it is a no stamp kit if you're going to do it the way they are showing it. So we've got this little sticker here that already has our sentiment on it. And we'll just pop that right onto the front of our card. It's your day. And then we have the little baggie along with our adhesives were those amazing embellishments, my favorite embellishments. And so we're going to grab those and sprinkle these onto our card front. Now I do like to use my Take Your Pick tool to pick them up. And just like that. And we'll put a few more over on the other side. Oh, come on. And there we go. Here we go. And one more right down there. All right. And so that is one of the birthday cards completed. So it's a little bit of a twist on the original card, but it's still such a beautiful card. And then I will actually put in, because they're not going to be side by side, it won't matter. I will put in a piece of white cardstock on the inside of this because it is a soft succulent card base. And I do like to have a white surface to write on. So if you don't have the soft succulent cardstock, go ahead and keep your card together as one piece and just put the card together as shown. But if you have the soft succulent, it's really nice to be able to come in here and play around and create some other stuff. So that is our first card that comes with this card kit. The second one has a lot more of a masculine feel to it. And I'm actually not going to cut up the card base or anything. I'm just going to use it as is. So we've got this awesome card base with the polka dots on it. We'll fold that. Grab my bone folder. Do like that. There we go. And then we have all these layers and bits and stuff to attach. Now I'm actually going to grab the instructions to make sure that I'm doing this right. Now this is where they have the tear and tape coming into play, because you really want these pieces to adhere strongly to your card front. Now, if you know me, you'll know I'm not very good at lining things up though, and tear and tape terrifies me. So I'm going to be saving my tear and tape for a 3D project and using liquid glue, because I am awful at getting things straight with tear and tape. So I'm going to use liquid glue. And if you use a little dot of it out at the flat end of your glue stick, then you can really spread this along, get it out close to the edges with it being a very thin layer. So you don't have to worry about glue kind of seeping out the edges. And then I can put this down and wiggle it around. And I don't have to worry about getting it perfectly aligned right from the get-go. I can wiggle it into position. And so we've put that down so that it's the top half of our card base. Oh, aren't these gorgeous, Eva? Now, our second piece we're going to put down just like that. We're going to put it down into the other bottom corner. So we're creating this really funky triangle piece. And I'm doing exactly the same thing. I'm getting a little dab of glue onto that flat end of my glue stick and running it along. Now, if you are using tear and tape that came in the kit to do this, you want to put it as close out to the edges as you can. And that's just going to allow for the best best result for your card. But then you really do have to line it up before you push it down. Whereas for me, you can see I'm doing a lot of wiggling around here. And there we go. So I've got that in position. So this is super fun. And you could literally cut up any cardstock or designer series paper and create this kind of a pattern. Like, I think that's so much fun. And then we've got our sentiment. So pick your language of choice, and grab that. And this simply goes right across. Like, kind of try and center it side to side, not top to bottom, but side to side. And then I did it closer to the top than to the bottom. And with that done, then we go ahead and we add some of our fantastic bling. And so we're just going to pop in here and start. We'll create a little triangle. I like to put them on in like in a way that creates little triangles. So create a little triangle down here, and then using this as kind of the base to our next triangle, we'll just come up here and maybe just like that, and then we'll create another triangle up here and just go like maybe a little off. There we go. Just like that. So just sprinkle the bling across our card. And that one was super fast, super simple, and extremely masculine as well. So you've kind of got your bases covered for birthdays. Now, that is it for the kit. That's kind of how you put the whole thing together. But you'll remember that I grabbed this piece and I didn't use it for anything. So I'm going to grab myself another soft succulent card base, and we're going to create a third card, and I'm going to show you a coordinating stamp set. So let's see here. So I'm just going to take a piece of cardstock and score it at 5.5. There we go. So I just grabbed a piece of soft succulent cardstock. I scored it at 5.5 and cut it at 4 1/4 to make this long style card. And this piece is going to get attached to the front of our card. Okay, so that's how we're going to do that. But before we glue anything down, because I may want to pull in a ribbon, we'll see. I just wanted to show you that we have the Cottage Rose stamp set that, although it's not exactly like the images that we had for our other card, it sure is close and sure is easy to work with. So I'm going to actually show you how we can create a card here using our beautiful Cottage Rose stamp set. Okay, so I am going to need a scrap piece of white paper, and I'm also going to need one to put inside our card. So I'll put that there right now before I forget. So I'm going to grab a scrap of paper and this beautiful rose. I'm going to pop this onto a block and stamp it with Memento black ink, which I have somewhere. There we go. All right, so ink that up. There we go. If you were watching the World Card Making Day event, they actually used this stamp set for one of the cards, and it was just so, so beautiful. I absolutely loved the card. All right, so with that stamped, we're going to actually grab some blends and do some work with some blends here. So I am going to get my soft succulent blends and my evening evergreen blends, because those are kind of colors that are in this card kit. But I am also going to bring in my pool party. Okay, so pool party's kind of it just, you can see that it creates a really nice ombre. And then for our flower, we're going to keep with that whole petal pink that they've been using in this. So I'm bringing in my petal pink, but I'm also, just to go with that, I'm going to bring in my pale papaya, which is one of our in colors. And we're just going to kind of use those together, and a little bit, I think, we'll see, we'll test it, a little bit of Fleur de Flamingo. Okay, so we've kind of got three big main colors here going on. I'm going to start with my light pool party and the paintbrush tip, and I'm just going to give the tips of these just a little, like, we don't have to be careful here, it's watercolory. I'm just giving them all a little go with my light pool party. Then I'm going to, I think I'm going to start with my light evening evergreen and the fine tip end. And I'm just, oh, that's so dark. Oh my. Oh well. It's going to be okay because we're using so little of it. I'm just coming in to the base of my leaves and a little bit up the spine of this. And this is my light evening evergreen, not my dark. Okay, and we're just giving the bottoms of these leaves a little bit of definition. Okay. Just in like that. So that's light evening evergreen. I'm not going to use my dark. That's way too dark. All right, then I'm going to take my dark soft succulent and I'm going to come in and do a lot more of my leaf in dark soft succulent. And so you can see I'm not really coloring. I'm more kind of going where they've got those highlight marks and just really playing along with coloring this in. And kind of dotting, tapping, being a little bit jittery with it. There we go. And then I'm going to take my light soft succulent and fill more of my leaf. But again, not filling all of it, just kind of coming in again and tapping and dotting and just doing a bit. There we go. There we go. One more leaf. All right, and then finally, I'm going to come in with the paintbrush tip of my dark pool party and make sure that there are no white holes left on my leaves. So it's adding kind of a bluish tinge to these leaves. And actually, I'm going to switch over to my fine tip because there we go. That's going to be easier. It's a little, the paintbrush end's maybe a little too big to get in down near the bottom of these leaves. They get a little bit thin. There we go. But just really make sure you don't leave your white spots on your leaf. Fill them in with this beautiful dark pool party. All right. So it creates just a really lovely kind of blue tinge to these leaves. And then I'm going to take my light soft succulent and come back in and do little stems for these guys. All right, so there is our leaf, our leaves done. Now for our flowers, I'm pretty sure I don't want dark. Oh, maybe I do. Oh, definitely light. I'm just doing a little test here to see with these colors. I think we're going to be good. Okay, so I am actually going to start with my dark flirty. No, I'm not. Skip dark flirty flamingo. We're going to use light flirty flamingo. And I'm going to color in the center of this flower with my light flirty flamingo and come out and just do a little bit of work along each leaf down where they have those little black lines. So I'm just doing kind of a quick scribble here. This is just going to be a fun little pink accent on a mostly kind of more peachy colored flower. Okay, so just a quick scribble there. And I think I'm going to skip all my darks and just use my lights. So next I'm going to use my light. Actually, I'm not sure which one's darker. Petal pink or pale papaya. Okay, so my next one that I'm going to use is actually going to be maybe my dark. That's too yellow, maybe. Yeah, that's too yellow. So I'm going to use my light pale papaya, sorry, and not the paintbrush end. Again, I'm going to use the fine tip end, and I'm just going to come in and blend a little bit more of those tips down along the center. There we go. And so just, oh, that squeaky noise. Oh. Just, you don't have to be very careful or specific with this because this is just kind of a little accent layer. Again, Another accent there. There we go. And then I'm going to take my light petal pink and just brush over the whole thing. I'm doing just circular motions, quite quick, and just brushing over the whole thing in petal pink, light petal pink. There we go. And then finally, I'm going to come back in with my dark petal pink and just do some of those top accents on the outside tips of the flowers. There we go. So it really adds a lot of interest to the different parts of the flower, makes it really not like a uniform look, because no flower really is. Okay, and there we go. So that is our flower completely colored. We're going to be able to add that to our card front. So you could fussy cut that, or if you've got the dies, you can grab the dies and we'll cut those out. So I do happen to have the dies, so I will save you from oh, I have to trim that down. Won't fit in my mini. There we go. So I'll save you from having to watch me fussy cut that. Just grab my dies. I'll be right back. And there we go. So this one's lovely because it has the big flower outline. There we go. So it lines up pretty easily there. Oh, and then I just bumped it out of place. Let's pull this back a bit before I do that. All right. There we go. So we'll roll that through. Awesome. So there is our flower. So you can see how that cottage rose is so quick and easy to be able to make like absolutely incredible. I call it card candy, like the bits that we're going to add onto our card fronts. So just really, really easy to create those bits. Now, the dies for the cottage rose come with all the bits to cut out the stamped images, but they also have these really awesome pieces to cut out their own images. And I actually, part of my getting organized is I've put extra bits and stuff right in with my stamp set, so that if I want to, like if I create something extra and then I want to use it on a future card, it's right there at my fingertips. So I actually have these pre-cut pieces from some other birthday cards I was making, and I'm just going to use them up, get my office clean. So we're going to use these bits to go on our card. So just like the original card, we have our piece here, and then we are going to pop in some other bits in and around it. So that's going to go around and around and around. And so I don't have another piece of cardstock. I could obviously go cut a piece of cardstock to go across this card, but what I think I'm actually going to do is grab a piece of, I have like this little sampler and I'd like to use it up. So I'm going to grab a piece of the linen thread. I think that's what this one's called. And I'm going to run that across the front of this card. So I'm like all about using up the bits this month and getting my office organized. So there we go. Pull that one out. And that's going to go across my card front. So before I've glued anything down, stamped anything, I'm going to do that. So the trick to this tear and tape actually works really well for this, or Seal Plus works really well for this as well, is you put a little bit of adhesive on each side of your cardstock. And then the not so easy part is you peel the backing off of it. There we go. And then we take this piece of ribbon and put it right across our card and tuck it into, oops, I just got my hand stuck in it. Tuck this into the adhesive on the back. Okay, so it's actually kind of a shame because it covers up, no, I might not do that, because it covers up that really nice, the really nice kind of edge there. So you know what, I might actually skip it. All right, new plan. So I already have some tear and tape on here, so I'll use a bit more to put this one down. This one's pretty easy to lay down. So as much as I'd like to use that ribbon, I don't want to cover up the really beautiful work that we have on this piece. So I'll save that for some time when I don't have the fancy paper. All right, so wish me luck. I have to line this up without messing it up. All right, there we go. All right, so with that done, this guy, I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of him, but I'm going to learn from my last card, and I'm not going to stick him down yet. Oh, and then I immediately go and take that off. No, leave that on. So I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to use some mini glue dots. So let's see, let's grab some mini glue dots. I'm going to use some mini glue dots to put down my little extra bits. Now, if you didn't have these extra bits, you could also just stamp some of the images from the stamp set and create some extra layers. So I'm actually going to put 2 mini glue dots on here, one up here and one at the base. And then peel those backings off. There we go. And so because that's not stuck down, yay me, I can now easily position those. And then I'll just leave that there. I'm going to grab this guy. I'm going to put some mini glue dots on the back of this. So one right about there. And actually that's going to be it. I'm just going to do the one. So my dimensionals will help hold everything else down. All right, so with that like that, we'll put that one in like that. And then we have our little leaf. And I'll just use one on the back of this. There we go. Okay, there. And that's going to go in just like that. All right, so we have that. We have this, we can still see this really nice, like the way the watercolory look goes across like that. So I'm going to now pop this down with my dimensionals. There we go. All right, not quite like that. I think it was more like that. Excellent. And then we're going to add our sentiment. Now, because I don't have, you know, another, okay, have a great day, Eva. So because I don't have another one of those little stickers, I'm going to use them all on my cards, like the ones that they've designed for me. I'm going to grab the Best Wishes out of our Cottage Rose stamp set. And so I actually haven't used this one yet. How odd. Such a pretty one. All right, so Best Wishes. I think I've been so focused on birthday cards that I haven't got to the other sentiments in here. There we go. So Best Wishes. And I am going to stamp that in actually Memento Black. I don't want to take away from anything here. So just like we had the black label on the other card, I'm going to use a black sentiment on this one. And pop that down right like that. There we go. And then we will have extra of our bling. So I am going to grab some of that bling from our card kit, and I'm going to use it to do a bunch of decorating on here. This is going to make up for the fact that I didn't put the ribbon across here. Is we're going to have all this lovely bling going on. All right. And maybe, yeah, there. All right, so we've kind of got that scattered across our card. And there is another sample of something you can do. We're using up that beautiful backside of the original card. So I now have 3 cards ready to go into my amazing birthday card organizer. And so we'll be able to keep decorating the pages and doing different things and keeping in the season. But so those are January. And then we can just take our cards and pop them in there. And this ring is nice and big, so we're going to be able to put a lot of cards into our organizer and keep them safe so that we've got them ready to go for when those months come up and we have those birthdays to celebrate. So thank you so much for joining me today with this birthday card kit. There we go. It's not often that I do a kit on my Wednesday morning lives, but this one was just so wonderful. I wanted to share it with you as soon as possible. I also have parent-teacher interviews all week, and so I've been working late and my brain's a little scrambled, so having to design something of my own, this was about as good as it was going to get today. Good morning, Janet. So I hope you guys loved this. These make great gifts. I'm pretty well. No, my mom and my mother-in-law are not on here, so I can say it. I'm getting this as a Christmas gift for both of them. They're both kind of those super organized people. And so hopefully this will help keep them even more organized because they're both getting up into their 70s now. So this will just be a way to help them keep on top of things. And it's so pretty. So that is our kit. And I will do a post later in once I've had a chance to complete all of my months and decorate them. I will post them and show you how I've decorated each page. All right, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.